I committed adultery. It was nearly 20 years ago. It continued far too long. It involved one person, and there's been no other, nor any other situations of unbecoming conduct for the last 20 years. I will not use the Bible to defend, protect, or deflect my past sin. I have no defense. I committed the adultery. To say it plainly, I didn't make a mistake. I didn't have an issue. I didn't have an affair. I didn't make a misjudgment. I sinned. In accordance with our church bylaws, I'm stepping aside, stepping down from ministry responsibilities, and have committed to the Lord and now to you that I will submit to the process and recommendations of this board.
It's a pastor in Warsaw, Indiana. His name is John Lowe II, and as you heard there, he's admitting to adultery. Keep that word in mind. He's admitting to adultery to his congregation. There he is there, looking like a guy that we're gonna discover what he actually was doing there. So he said it happened almost 20 years ago, and now he's begging his congregation for forgiveness. But at the time, who he was committing this adultery with, this woman now comes up and with her husband, I believe, and they told the story of what actually happened, still in front of this congregation, and it got really uncomfortable. Watch.
For 27 years, I lived in a prison. It was not 20 years. I lived in a prison of lies and shame. Lying to protect the Lowe family. For years, I thought I was a horrible person having suicidal thoughts, not realizing what had been truly done to me. That I was a victim, and I would still be in a prison if my brother, and many of you know him, Edgar Wolf, had not approached me just 2 weeks ago with what he had seen as a teenager that bothered him all these years. His pastor in bed with his younger sister, a t-shirt and underwear on. I was a prisoner and you kept me in your prison. I'm a prisoner no longer. I was just 16 when you took my virginity on your office floor. Do you remember that? I know you do, and I have plenty of other stories that I could bring to remembrance. You did things to my teenage body that had never and should have never been done. If you can't admit the truth, you have to answer to God. You are not the victim here.
These are the moments when these types of guys need to have their power and their platform taken away and actually given to people that they took their power in their life, what they would have had, away from them. And I'm glad she did it. Really fast, Frances, let's go to graphic 3, guys, because this is the response from the church. Her husband went up there and helped her out as well, stood their ground as they got to them. But this is the response from the church. In the wake of what has now been revealed, we are hurting and broken for a woman who has lovingly attended and served in the church for many years, as well as for her husband and family. It's our deepest prayer and commitment to love, support, encourage, and help her through a process of healing in any way in which we are able. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what they're gonna do with him, but he's now gone. But what's gonna happen next? It's been 27 years, as she pointed out, and he said only 20, but it was adultery. But as a matter of fact, she was a teenager who he groomed, and then, as she pointed out, put her in a prison for that long, Francesca.
I mean, it makes me think of the horrible rapist apologist line, which is, why now? Why are you coming forward with this story now, right? And here you have a woman broken, speaking up, saying that it was only because her brother, who bore witness to one of the many awful, coercive, disgusting rapes, brought it up to her 2 weeks ago, and she found the courage, thanks to having someone like her brother or her husband or somebody around her, or her own just sort of willingness to do this, spoke up about it. Man, give her that church. She'd been there for 27 years, stuck with the congregation, stood by that pastor as he week after week spouted whatever moralistic BS he was spouting. Hell no, give her the church. Let her run things from now on. There need to be more women in leadership. I know that's against a lot of God's laws according to the most orthodox versions of Christianity, which is total crap. I just, nothing but like love out to her. And like, again, I think she's right to call him out and be like, yo, dude, you don't get to be like, it's adultery and then forgive me, congregation. No.
Yeah, that's his explanation coming out there about what he's done. And of course, conveniently leaving out those facts because he knows how bad that was. This isn't something that's just the Catholic Church and priests that happen. This is widespread. So be careful about who you give your kids, hand them over to, and think that they're righteous individuals. They just might be using the Bible and religion for their dirty deeds. It's disgusting. I'm glad she called him out.